Archangel Michael has just whispered to your spirit, and I need you to understand the gravity of this instant. There are only 10 seconds left. This isn't a figure of speech, it's not an exaggeration, and it's not just a pretty phrase to grab your attention. It is a real warning, like when someone knocks on your door and you feel deep in your chest that if you don't open it right now, you might never open it the same way again. God is trying to hand you an urgent message directly from heaven, for you in the clearest way your soul can receive it. And if you ignore this, if you scroll past, if you treat this as just another video, you might miss something extraordinary that is already moving in your direction. It's not a danger. It is an unexpected blessing. It is a miracle that can change everything suddenly, without warning, without preparation, without time for you to do the math and try to understand how it was possible. That is why you must stay with me until the end, my beloved child. Listen with your heart and with the part of you that still believes, even after so many disappointments. Because right at this moment, a divine call is reaching you, like a letter that was kept safe for months and has finally been placed in your hands. It is about destiny. It is about a divine appointment you were waiting for without even knowing it. It is about a now that heaven has chosen to reach you. Many signs have been sent before, little whispers, gentle nudges, dreams that felt too real, moments where time seemed to stop, and you stood in silence for a few seconds as if something invisible had passed by you. Conversations that stayed in your head for days, loose words that pierced through you without explanation. But now, heaven has stopped everything to speak to you. The angels have paused. The heavens have opened in a way your mind might not see, but your soul recognizes. The veil between worlds has grown thin. My beloved child, do not move. What comes next is going to stir you on the inside. It will stop your heart in the sense of making you realize that you are not alone, that you never were. So don't scroll past. This isn't like the other videos you've watched today. This isn't random content that just happened to land on your feed. This is a divine pause, a sacred assistance, a special moment that was written in the books of heaven before you were born. And I know you've heard many people say, you were chosen. It's not a coincidence. God brought you here. I know. But there is a difference between phrases that sound nice and an instant where your soul feels, it is now. And that is what is happening to you. Things you didn't expect are already coming your way. Things you stopped expecting because life wore you out. Things you said you didn't want anymore, just so you wouldn't be disappointed. But heaven hasn't given up on you. Stay with me. Look inside yourself. Because some of you have felt that strange pull in the last few days, that sudden weight, that tightness that came without reason and then vanished. That moment where your heart said out of nowhere that something is coming. You woke up at 3 a.m. wide awake, with your heart racing, and it wasn't a nightmare. You stared at the ceiling and felt a mix of anxiety and expectation, as if something was about to change, and you couldn't say what. You were driving, then suddenly a strong sensation took over you, as if your life was arriving at an important curve. You were in the middle of ordinary moments, washing dishes, looking out at the street, scrolling on your phone, and a special certainty appeared. Something is going to happen. And you tried to push it down, you tried to distract yourself, you tried to convince yourself it was just a tired mind. But that wasn't fear. It was God trying to reach you. It was heaven cutting through the noise of your daily life. It was Archangel Michael knocking on the door of your consciousness. And here is the point that might hurt a little, but it heals. You walked right past it every time. You dismissed it as stress, you blamed anxiety, you put it aside thinking it was all in your head. You always skipped the message that was for your name, the message that had your spiritual mark on it, the message sealed with your destiny. And why? Because you got used to surviving. Because you learned not to create expectations. Because life taught you that when you get excited, you get disappointed, so you preferred not to feel. You preferred not to believe. You preferred not to open up. Only while you were closing yourself off to protect yourself, you were also closing doors that heaven was trying to open. And it's not because God punished you. It's because God's timing demands presence. The blessing demands reception. And every time you ignored it, it wasn't heaven moving away from you. It was you moving away from heaven's moment. But today is different. Today, Archangel Michael stands between you and a rare major shift. a change that can alter the course of your life in an instant. Don't scroll past. Don't leave until the end. The moment you are seeing is not a mistake. This is the moment heaven chose to contact you again. The unexpected is already at your door, my beloved child. Breathe deep. Stay here. What is happening is a revelation that won't happen again in the same way. If you skip this time, you will miss what heaven planned, not because God is cruel, but because certain windows do not stay open forever. And I know you want guarantees. I know you want proof before believing. I know you are tired of promises, but heaven doesn't work like the world. Heaven doesn't give you proof so you can then decide if you trust. Heaven calls you to trust, and trust opens the door for the proof to appear. And Michael is telling you right now, your blessings, your turnaround, your long-awaited change are already ready for you to say yes. Something sudden and life-changing is going to happen in moments, but only if you stay. Only if you don't run away the moment your soul begins to recognize it. Because there is a pattern. When the truth gets close, the mind tries to escape. When the answer gets close, fear tries to distract. When God is about to align your story, anxiety tries to make you think about anything other than receiving. So, to show your own spirit that you are ready, I want you to do a simple thing right there in your privacy, like a seal. Say amen with your mouth or in your heart, like someone agreeing with heaven. If you can write it too, write it. Not as a bargaining chip, not as superstition, but as a declaration. Because when you declare, you align. When you declare, you stop being a spectator and become a participant. Do it now, my beloved child, and stay with me. Because what comes next is the reason we are calling. Don't scroll past, don't leave until the end. What is coming, even if it seems small at first, is sacred, rare and reserved for those who did not ignore this last call. You are about to discover something very big. Pay attention, don't walk on by. Follow me to the end. You are about to receive something very big. And I want you to realize that as you draw near, Archangel Michael sees that your heart is ready, ready to hear something that has never been said to you before in the right way. The unexpected event coming in your direction isn't luck. It is happening at the right time. Don't scroll because I'm going to tell you the truth about these 10 seconds. These 10 seconds are the ones that count for your breakthrough, for your change, for the moment you step into what has always been yours. And I know you might be thinking, but what is it? What's going to happen? Calm down. Stay here. Because before the answer reveals itself, heaven is preparing you to receive without ruining it with fear, without ruining it with haste, without ruining it with that voice that sabotages you saying, it won't work. It's not for me. It's not going to happen. The energy around you is changing, my beloved child. And I don't speak of energy as a trend, as empty talk. I speak of spiritual atmosphere, of an invisible weight that shifts when God decides to touch a story. Heaven sees everything, even if you don't. And the good things you thought were going to happen later are happening now. That is why Michael is pulling you strongly to stay. Don't walk past. A door is opening for you right now, and if you leave now, you might not recognize when it opens. There is something sudden, strong, and beautiful coming straight for your name. And I say for your name because heaven isn't blessing just any random person. Heaven is calling your name with intention. Your name has carried weight. Your name has carried rejection. Your name has carried being forgotten. Your name has carried comparison. But heaven is about to rewrite what your name means. So don't scroll. This moment is too sacred to lose. Listen to this before moving forward. If this message is touching you, let it overflow to someone who also needs it. And if you feel the pull, acknowledge it, because acknowledging is also alignment. And if you want to follow more signs, stay close, because heaven whispers in ways only those who are attentive can hear. Don't walk past. Don't leave until the end. Your blessing, surprise, a turnaround or divine change is arriving faster than you can breathe. Michael is guiding you toward it, and what comes next will surprise you. Wait a moment, my beloved child. You didn't stop scrolling by accident. Your heart leaned in for a reason. And I want you to notice, do you feel a sudden calm mixed with a strange weight in your chest? Do you feel as if something is marking you on the inside? That is the mark. That is heaven telling you that you are exactly where you should be at this exact moment. You are no longer having random moments in life. This is divine, planned, and made to help you live your change. Behind the scenes, something big is already taking shape. Something you didn't see coming. Something that will appear in your life out of nowhere, and you will say, "How is this possible? Where did this come from?" And heaven will smile, because it was prepared while you thought nothing was happening. That is why you must stay with me. Don't leave until the end. You had better prepare yourself for the change that is coming soon. Now, a message is being sent to your spirit. If you scroll away, you might miss the door that is opening for your name. Not because the door closes out of malice, but because you won't be present to walk through it. And this is important. Many people lose out, not because God didn't give, but because they weren't there to receive. Tell them to stay, says Archangel Michael. Now it is their turn too, and I repeat, the blessing that is coming is big. It is a turnaround, a restoration, a miracle. Everything is happening at the right moment, and heaven is taking extra care so that you don't miss your unexpected moment this time. My beloved child, please stay. You are about to discover something very big. While your heart reacts to this, Michael comes closer than ever. He says, tell them that the unexpected blessing is already in motion. It's not just another message. This is the moment heaven has been trying to reach you for so long. You don't realize how close it is. Every second you stay, you get closer to the part that completely changes the path. Everything is coming together now, in this divine second. The change that seemed impossible, the peace you desired, the blessing you thought wouldn't come. Don't walk past. You're about to live a moment that can change the next part of your life. The unexpected isn't going to happen someday. It is already on the way. Don't move. This is where heaven gets close to your story. Pay attention while I explain what is going to happen next, because I'm going to tell you something that many people need to hear, and few people hear the right way. The delays you didn't understand, the closed doors that frustrated you, the prayers that seemed unanswered, none of that was the end. All of that was heaven organizing this exact moment, this second where something breaks and something opens. You were chosen for something bigger than you imagine. And I know chosen sometimes becomes an empty word, but here it means you were preserved. You weren't destroyed when you should have been. You didn't crumble when everything pointed to it. You are still here, you are still standing, you are still trying even when you had no strength. And that is the strongest sign that heaven is with you. You've been feeling that restlessness in your spirit lately, that expectation you can't explain. That is real. Michael has been preparing the way, clearing obstacles you couldn't see, moving pieces into place while you waited. And now, in this moment, the change is happening. My beloved child, you need to understand, the fact that you are still here, still listening, this isn't a coincidence. This is confirmation. Heaven doesn't waste moments like this. Every second you stay is another second where your blessing accelerates in your direction. And I know you are tired. You are tired of waiting. You are tired of being strong. You are tired of smiling on the outside while collapsing on the inside. You are tired of seeing people starting after you and arriving before you. You are tired of seeing people who don't even value God receiving things you begged for in prayer. And the worst part? You had to celebrate their victory. You had to appear mature. You had to swallow the pain. You had to say, God knows, while your heart asked, what about me? What about my time? What about my breakthrough? Some of you have been in the desert, and it wasn't a comfortable wait. It was brutal, it was isolating. It was that kind of wait that makes you question everything. God, yourself, your purpose. You asked yourself if you heard wrong years ago when you felt God had something for you. You asked yourself if the dream was real or an illusion. You considered settling for less just to stop the hurting. You questioned if heaven remembered your name. You cried prayers that seemed to hit the ceiling and bounce back. You fasted and felt nothing changed. You planted seed after seed and saw no harvest. You confessed promises until the words felt empty. You did everything you knew to do, and still, nothing seemed to move. And I want you to hear this with all your soul. While it seemed like nothing was happening, everything was happening. Heaven wasn't ignoring you. Heaven was preparing you. And not just preparing, protecting. Because sometimes God's no isn't rejection, it's mercy. That job you didn't get, you would have hated in 6 months and would have lost your peace, lost time, lost your identity. That relationship that didn't work out would have dimmed your light and led you off your path. That contract that fell through would have put you in the wrong place at the wrong time. That opportunity that seemed perfect would have opened the door to people who drained you, and you didn't see it. You only saw the frustration. But Michael saw the trap. Michael saw the distraction. Michael saw the false path that looked right. So every closed door protected you from a wrong turn that would have derailed your destiny. Every delay positioned you for the perfect moment. And here is a truth that heals and humbles at the same time. If you had gotten what you wanted when you wanted it, you wouldn't be ready. The version of you from 3 years ago couldn't sustain what is coming now. You needed the desert to develop strength, wisdom, character. The nights you cried yourself to sleep built compassion. The times you had to trust with empty pockets strengthened your faith muscles. The seasons you felt alone taught you that you were never alone. The moments you wanted to quit but didn't reveal a warrior inside you. And now Michael says, tell them the season in the desert is ending today. Not someday. Today. This is the last slow day. This is the last day of feeling forgotten. This is the last day of wondering if your change will come. The promised land you prayed for isn't far away anymore. It's not 5 years away. It's not next year. It's not next month. It is here. It is now. It is in this moment. The change is happening while you listen. The door is opening while you receive these words. The blessing is moving in your direction while you remain. And notice, your heart beats faster because your spirit recognizes the truth, and your spirit recognizes it not because you understood everything, but because something inside you always knew it wasn't supposed to end the way it was. Something inside you always knew God didn't bring you this far to abandon you halfway. So stay. Let me tell you what is about to unfold. The blessing coming in your direction has 3 parts, and I want you to listen to each one carefully, because recognizing when it arrives is important. There are people who receive and don't notice. There are people who receive and call it a coincidence. There are people who receive and throw it away because it didn't look big enough. But heaven sometimes starts small, and when you honor the small, it grows. The first part is sudden favor. Sudden favor is when doors open that you didn't even knock on. It's when someone says yes before you finish explaining. It's when an answer you've been waiting years for arrives in hours. It's when an email you send without hope comes back with a, let's talk. It's when a casual conversation with a stranger turns into a connection. It's when people who never noticed you start looking for you. Your name will be on the lips of people who can elevate you. People who make decisions will think of you out of nowhere. People with influence will feel an urge to contact you, and you won't understand why. And I'll tell you why. Because Michael is going ahead of you, speaking your name in rooms you haven't entered yet, opening doors before you approach, aligning conversations, pushing opportunities. Things that used to require years of effort will manifest in days. Not because you manipulated it, not because you did magic, but because the time has come. When the time comes, heaven accelerates. The second part is divine restoration, and this is deeper than it seems. It's not just getting something new, it's recovering what was taken. And not just recovering, multiplying. The years the locusts consumed, heaven returns with interest. Dreams that died are resurrected. The vision you had 10 years ago that circumstances killed comes back to life, but in a better version, more mature, more aligned with who you have become. Relationships that broke begin to heal. Someone who walked away reaches out. An apology you stopped expecting arrives. A family member opens up. And pay attention, it's not everyone. Heaven won't restore what destroys you. The toxic ones will stay away. But that which is valuable and was damaged by time, lack of communication, immaturity, that can be healed. What the enemy stole, heaven is restoring double. The promotion that ignored you, something better is coming. The relationship that ended in betrayal. God can lead you to a love that feels like coming home, a love that doesn't confuse you, doesn't humiliate you, doesn't leave you in anxiety. The money you lost through bad decisions or bad people, supernatural provision can compensate. And the third part is supernatural peace. This is the part that will shock you, because you have lived with anxiety for so long that you forgot what peace feels like. You normalize the tightness in your chest. You normalize the knot in your stomach. You normalize the racing mind. You normalized going to sleep tired and waking up more tired, But heaven's peace doesn't come like internet advice. It comes like a touch that silences the storm. And not gradually, suddenly. One day you wake up and realize the weight is gone. You walk into a situation that used to trigger you and feel calm. You face a challenge that used to paralyze you and feel strength. The fear that followed you starts to flee. That voice that said it's not enough, it's too late, you'll never make it, starts to be replaced by the voice of heaven affirming your worth. Burdens fall from your shoulders. Guilt that wasn't yours goes away. Shame from errors already confessed loses its power. And in place of the weight, you feel lightness, forgotten joy, firm hope. The strength of someone who knows heaven is on their side. And here is what you need to know. This triple blessing activates the moment you align your spirit with heaven's timing. And that is why I want you to make a simple, exact declaration, like someone planting a flag in the ground. Say, with your mouth or with your fingers if you want to write it, my breakthrough starts now. Not as empty repetition, but as a decision, because decision creates direction. As you declare, something changes inside you. You stop delaying, you stop saying later, you stop asking permission to exist, you align. Do this now, my beloved child. And continue with me, because I am going to reveal a secret, and this secret explains why some people receive their change and others don't, even if they are good, even if they are deserving, even if they pray. Pay attention. It is not about deserving. I need to be clear. Your change isn't delayed because you aren't good enough. It isn't stuck because you are too flawed. God doesn't withhold blessings because you made mistakes. If it were like that, no one would receive anything. You are loved because heaven says you are, period. It is not about perfection. You don't need to pray perfectly. You don't need to worship perfectly. No one can. Perfection is not a prerequisite. The secret is alignment. This is the key most people miss. You can be ready, you can be worthy of love, but if you are not aligned with heaven's timing and heaven's methods, you miss the moment. And what does alignment mean? It means being present for what heaven is doing now, not what heaven did last year, not what heaven might do next year. What heaven is doing in this season, in this second. Most people live in the past or the future, replaying old failures, rehearsing future anxieties. But heaven moves now, and if you aren't present, you miss the movement. Every time you scrolled past a message that was for you, you broke alignment. How many times did you feel a nudge to watch something, read something, hear something, and you said later? How many times did you think, I'll come back tomorrow? And later never came because tomorrow arrived full of noise and you got distracted. And it wasn't punishment, it was absence. If you aren't there to receive when heaven is ready to give, the window passes, the door shuts, the moment closes. But today is different. Something changed when you clicked here. Something in the atmosphere changed when you didn't scroll away in the first few seconds. Every second you stayed realigned your spirit with heaven's timeline. And look at this powerful thing. You are still here. And that isn't accidental. That is supernatural. Because heaven protected this moment. Maybe you don't even realize it. But things that distract you couldn't pull you away. No call interrupted you. No urgency pulled you out. It is as if heaven created a corridor of silence just for you to hear. And that means your spirit is hungry. Your soul is ready. Your heart is open. And when these three things align, hunger, readiness, and openness, change becomes inevitable. And I know you've been disappointed. I know you've opened up and someone shut you down. I know you've believed and life betrayed you. Even so, you are open. And that openness is proof that hope is still alive. Where there is hope, there is a road for miracles to travel. Michael is using your obedience now. Obedience to stay. Obedience to listen. Obedience to believe, even when it would be easier to doubt. He is using this to unlock what was waiting. Not just unlock, release, accelerate, manifest. And I need you to stay until the end because the most important part is coming. My beloved child, close your eyes for an instant, just an instant, and feel the atmosphere around you. Can you feel a subtle shift, a warmth in your chest, a small but firm certainty? That is Michael's presence standing guard over this moment, ensuring nothing interferes with what is about to happen. Open your eyes now. Stay focused. Don't scroll. Here is what heaven wants you to know. The fight you have been in was not meaningless. It was preparation. Every difficult season strengthened you. Every closed door protected you. Every delay positioned you. And now all that preparation is about to pay off. The change is here. The turnaround is happening. The miracle is manifesting. And I am going to give you a specific time frame, not a someday. I am going to tell you when you will see real evidence. Pay attention. Michael says the unexpected blessing will manifest within the next lunar cycle. That means within the next 30 days you will see concrete signs. Within 30 days, you will experience at least one of these signs: a financial turnaround you didn't see coming, a relationship that starts to heal suddenly, a job offer or promotion that seems too good to be true, an improvement in health that doctors can't explain, a creative idea that changes everything, or a divine connection that opens impossible doors. Mark this day in your heart. Remember this moment. Because 30 days from now you will look back and realize that this was the turning point, the moment something began to shift. And I don't say this for you to live anxiously counting days. I say it for you to live attentively, because when you expect good, you recognize good. And I want you to seal this with a simple attitude, like someone saying, "I receive." If you want, you can like this as a sign of agreement, not to feed numbers, but to mark within yourself, "I will not ignore this." And if you feel it in your heart, share it with someone who is in the desert too, because there are people who will only be reached if you are the bridge. It's not an obligation, it's an overflow. The blessing wasn't made just to stop with you, it was made to multiply, and there is a spiritual law. When you become a channel, heaven maintains the flow. So think of people who need to hear this. Send it. Say, "Stay until the end, this is for you." And then turn your attention back here, because there is a final word, a final piece of the puzzle. Don't leave before receiving everything. My beloved child, here is the final truth, the reason you found this today, the reason you stayed until now, the reason your spirit is resonating with every word. You are chosen, not just blessed, chosen for a specific purpose, a mission, a destiny. And everything you went through was allowed to prepare you for what comes next. The next chapter of your life will be different from anything you have ever experienced. Greater favor, greater impact, greater purpose. But it all starts here, in this moment, with this decision to believe, to receive, to stay aligned with heaven's timing. Archangel Michael is with you. Heaven is backing you. The blessing is yours. The change is here. The miracle is manifesting. Don't walk past. Don't doubt in the last second. Just receive. Receive like someone opening their hands. Receive like someone who stops fighting against their own miracle. And while you receive, remain attentive to heaven's whispers, because this is just the beginning. There will be more signs, more confirmations, more doors. And I want you to remember what just happened here. You stayed until the end. This proves your heart is ready. This proves your spirit is aligned. This proves heaven chose right. The next 30 days will show evidence. Stay attentive to the details. Expect the unexpected. Prepare for sudden favor. Prepare for divine restoration. Prepare for supernatural peace. Your season of change has officially begun here and now, in this exact moment. Amen.